back in the locker room. Joining us, Pitt Defensive Coordinator Paul Rhoads. Coach, thanks for joining us.
You're very welcome. Appreciate it.
Now, Coach, Wolf's a little upset because we understand that your wife bakes cookies for your defense, so he was kind of thinking that he would benefit today.
Yeah, you know, I mean, if you just happen to have any hanging around, you know.
Timing's good. You know how those linemen are in that scout team. They're not leaving any morsels for anybody.
Now, that's not a recruiting violation, is it?
No, not at all. Not at all. Just got to keep them here.
Are they chocolate chip cookies?
They are chocolate
chip
cookies.
Those are good. You know, I have this wonderful gift. I can go buy a chocolate chip cookie, a whole platter of them, and I can calculate within, you know, 1 or 2 chocolate chips, like how many are in there, like that. I mean, it's a gift. I don't even have to work at it.
I was thinking you were going to say how many pounds that you were going to put on just by looking at the cookie, but that's the rest of us.
Now, that's really cool. How long has Mrs. Rhoads been baking cookies for the athletes that you've been coaching up?
Boy, as long as we've been married, as long as we've been started. So, yeah, she's always been involved in it, and I think it's just special for the kids not to have a birthday forgotten or extra work forgotten.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I got to admit, now, what's with the beard? I mean, are we on a hot streak here, and so it's going to stay?
A little bit, probably, but
Okay.
when it comes to sleep or an extra 5 minutes to shave, I'm taking an extra 5 minutes of sleep because I'm not getting much right now.
Oh, that's one day's growth, huh?
Yeah.
Coach, how do you feel your defense has progressed thus far this year?
I think that's exactly what they're doing. They're progressing. We played our best football game against Toledo on Saturday, which is the way it should be, and hopefully the Syracuse game will be our best game still. We stumbled in the middle against Michigan State. I think they got a little overconfident, thought they were better than they were, and quickly got brought back down to ground. Since then, their preparation's been outstanding, and it's been that way this week also.
Is that a constant that you each year go into knowing that, hey, there's going to be a growth curve here with the young guys depending on how much veteran leadership you have?
Yeah, you guys know so well. Every football team is different. And this team is different that we are more mature. We're more experienced. There's little things you don't have to spend as much time coaching, but it's the little things with the veteran group that lets them play at an elite level. And as long as they can maintain their concentration and stay with you when you're trying to coach those things, then you're going to be a better football team.
Coach, can you get a feel for how your guys are going to play? I mean, you know, Wolf and I've talked about this all the time. You know, we've gone through weeks where we thought we had a great week's preparation. We thought we were ready to play. Guys look serious, and we've gone up and stunk the joint out, and then conversely, we've done just the opposite. Gone in, and you know, people seem a little more lackadaisical and loose and played fantastic.
Yeah, rarely.
Yeah.
Rarely, I think, do you have a really good feel for how they're going to play. 2 things. One, how the week's preparation goes, and then second, pregame. Pregame kills me.
Yeah.
We're ready to play, and then go out and stink up the joint, like you said, or we don't have a chance today, and then go play lights out. Last week was one of those rare cases. I told Jeff Long before the game, we are going to play great today. The week was that great, and unless something had happened before 12 o'clock kickoff, we were going to play that good. The preparation was that outstanding. If the preparation is good, you usually have a decent feel, but never fully.
Coach, you've had 2 guys from your defense so far as the Big East Players of the Week, HB and Clint Sessions. Talk a little bit about their development.
They're special kids and they're special players. They've been playing in the program for 4 years all the way, never red-shirted, and we got a little bit of that in this team and experience like that. Guys that have been playing from day one when they stepped in, and they're looking that way right now. These guys don't make many mistakes. They play extremely hard, and they play the game with a great amount of passion.
Coach, your young guys, how have they, you know, your freshmen especially, and guys who haven't played for you in the past, how have they transitioned to being part of this defense?
We're having more freshmen playing right now than we have in quite some time, some because they've been forced into it, others just because they're good enough. I think Mackenzie Matthews is going to get more playing time than he's had up to this point, and maybe going home will help him shine a little bit. Giovanni Chappelle's getting more and more time, whether it be special teams or even defense a little bit, and the other guys that are stepping up. Every game, they're becoming a little bit smarter. They're I think, worked through the freshman wall a little bit. John Malecki had hit it. There's evidence now that he's coming back full speed, and so that's exciting for the young kids.
Coach, what do you know now that you didn't know when you were leaving camp about your defense?
That We are a very sound team, and probably nothing spectacular. Maybe during camp we thought we could pressure the quarterback a little bit better than we are. We thought the team speed would help in that regard. Over a 60-minute football game, and maybe it's because of a lack of size, or you get tired, going against a 300-pounder when you're only 260. I think we're just a sound team that's not going to give up the big play, not capable of making a huge play time after time, but you give us a chance, we're going to be able to do that, and we've done that, turning the ball over.
Coach, what do you like on game day? Are you more of the wound tight variety, or are you pretty loose?
I'm wound tight. The butterflies turn over.
That was
a pop fly.
I'm not going to eat much. I'm going to pace a little bit, and little things are going to set me off. So I try to avoid that if I can.
Now, do you sleep the night before games well?
Usually pretty good.
Yeah.
I get that from my mother. I've always been able to sleep pretty good no matter what's going on.
Coach, you talked about the fact that you couldn't pressure the quarterback maybe as much as you wanted. Now you've got a lot of young guys playing that defensive line, a little bit lighter, right? I mean,
yes.
So, okay. I think what you do is you double up the cookies. So you got to put some weight on them. I think you double up the cookies.
I'll go right to the one-step doghouse if I do that. We don't need to be putting weight on those guys.
Coach, you guys you have to whoop up on Syracuse, otherwise because
Wolf saw them for a tough week.
But you got to put it on them. I mean, I wouldn't be able to live with them if Pitt goes down to Syracuse this week.
We'll see if we can't do our part. That's for sure.
How do they look this year?
Much better, much better. Very similar to our program right now. Second year head coach. Transition with all the guys. You can tell they're more experienced, they're more knowledgeable in what they're doing, and their execution, their production show as much.
How do you feel your season has progressed now? With Dave's second year here, you feel that you're getting to where you need to be?
I think everybody is. By that I mean coaches and players alike. I spent a full year trying to learn the intricacies of what we were doing. Now, that matters a whole lot when you're making adjustments on game day and trying to figure out what exactly is right. You got an idea, but until you go out there and live it for 60 minutes, you don't truly know. And I think everybody involved now is smarter. Everybody now is more confident, and I think that's evidence in how fast we're playing as a group.
Coach, that's an interesting point that you just made. You've coached a long time in major college football, and obviously you've coached with different coaches. How has the different coaches that you've coached with impacted your whole philosophy on coaching defense?
I think everybody in a different way. The number one thing you get, I think, on this side of the ball from everybody's intensity. It's a violent game. It's a fast game. It's a physical game. If you coach it any other way, I think you're going to pay for it, especially with 18, 19, 20-year-old kids. Quite honestly, they don't handle compliments very well because they relax. They start feeling too good about themselves and they relax. So you always got to keep your foot on the gas. And then you take a little bit. Some guys like a lot. Some guys don't like to do too much. Some guys like to attack. Some guys like to be off and be more conservative. And I've been fortunate to be exposed to all of that and try to blend it and fit my personality from there.
And what is your personality? Attack?
I'd like to get after you if at all possible. And that doesn't always mean blitzing. I mean, if you got guys that are relentless, sometimes four-man pressure feels like you're being attacked all the time. And as long as we got 11 guys pursuing the football, you're always attacking. And I think this group's got that a little bit.
If I was to ask one of your guys, what do you say more than anything? I mean, we have the old Chuckisms that you could just say. He'd say, what would you say? They would say you say more than anything else.
Oh, probably urgency right now. One play at a time and bend your knees.
Well, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it, Coach, and good luck against Syracuse. Don't let those pumpkin heads put it on you. Otherwise, I'd have to live with him.
I can't wish them well. What can I say,
Defensive Coordinator Paul Rhoads. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have more stuff right here in the locker room.